If you work in finance, you definitely know the routine, right? It's just endless data wrangling, manually building reports, and constantly chasing down numbers. But what if all of that is about to change? Today, we are diving deep into how artificial intelligence is flipping the script on financial planning and analysis, turning it from a back-office chore into a real strategic powerhouse. So, let's get into it.
Let's start with just one number that explains the problem perfectly: 46%. Yeah, according to the 2025 FP&A Trends Survey, that's how much of their time finance teams are spending on just manual data collection and validation. Think about that. Nearly half the work week is spent on tasks that, let's be honest, add very little strategic value.
Just imagine that for a second. What could your team actually do with an extra 2 days every single week? I mean, more analysis, better business partnering? This right here is the core promise of AI in finance. It's not about replacing people, it's about freeing them up to do the work that truly matters.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this shift, we're going to follow a pretty clear path. First, we'll look at AI's real-world impact right now. Then, we'll talk about the two essential foundations for success: your people and your data. From there, we'll get a little glimpse of the future with something called agentic AI. And finally, we'll tie it all together with a practical roadmap to help guide your own transformation.
So let's kick things off with the big picture. How is AI changing the game as we speak? Well, we're moving away from just reporting on what happened to actively shaping what's going to happen next.
AI's impact really boils down to three main roles. First, it's a massive productivity booster, automating all that tedious data prep. Second, it's an insight generator. You can think of it like a superpowered analyst that can spot trends a human might easily miss. And third, it's a decision support system, letting you ask what if and get answers in minutes, not days.
And this quote just nails the point. As Deirdre Ryan from EY points out, AI isn't just about doing the same old things faster. It's about doing entirely new things, unlocking insights that were just completely out of reach before because teams were so bogged down with manual work.
And you know what? This isn't just some theory. The impact is already showing up in the data. The FP&A Trends Survey found that teams using AI are already spending 5% more of their time on high-value strategic activities. This is that first, real, concrete proof of a fundamental shift in how finance creates value.
So if the impact is that clear, how do you actually get started? Now, you might think an AI transformation is all about the tech, but the research is crystal clear. The most important foundation you can build is with your people and your company culture. This quote from Matteo Darnay just says it all, doesn't it? You can have the most advanced AI platform in the world, but if your team resists change, or worse, doesn't trust the new tools, the whole project is doomed from the start. The biggest hurdle is always human.
So how do you handle that human element? Well, Pedro Thina from Honeywell offers this fantastic, really practical 5-step process. You start by using data to prove why the change is necessary. Then, you clearly define the scope, make a solid plan, and create a really clear vision for what success looks like. And please, don't forget that last step. Celebrate the wins along the way. That's how you build momentum.
Okay, so once your people are on board, the next pillar is your data. And let me be clear, this is absolutely non-negotiable. An AI system, no matter how brilliant it is completely useless without clean, reliable, and well-structured data. It is the bedrock of literally everything else.
A key concept to know here is the data fabric. Think of it kind of like a universal translator for all your different data systems. So instead of moving all your data around, a data fabric creates this virtual layer that connects everything, making data accessible and consistent no matter where it lives. It's a game changer that prevents those massive, costly projects of trying to move everything into one central place. And inside that data fabric, you absolutely need what's called the golden record. This is all about creating one single, undisputed source of truth for your most important data points. So, for example, instead of having 7 slightly different versions of a customer's records scattered across 7 systems, you have one official, golden version that everyone can trust. Now, maintaining that quality is an ongoing process. It's not a one-and-done deal. This 5-step cycle shows you exactly how it's done. First, you prioritize what data matters most. Then, you set strict rules for how it gets entered. You use dashboards to report errors, you analyze why they're happening, and then you act to fix them. It's just a continuous loop of improvement. And the payoff for getting your data quality right? It's massive. Just look at this.
Organizations with high-quality data are 3.5 times more likely to produce forecasts that they themselves rate as good or great. So the takeaway is crucial. Good data doesn't just make AI possible, it directly leads to better, more reliable business decisions. Period.
Okay, so with the foundations of people and data firmly in place, let's look to the future. The next big leap isn't just a slightly better AI, it's a whole new kind of AI called agentic AI. This is where we move from tools that assist us to agents that can actually act for us.
To really get this leap, just compare it to traditional automation, or RPA. That technology just follows simple if this, then that rules. It's great for repetitive stuff, but it breaks the second anything changes. Agentic AI, on the other hand, uses perception and reasoning. It's highly autonomous, and it can navigate really complex, multi-step tasks to achieve a goal, adapting as it goes.
As Peter Gallick from Takeda puts it, this is a true paradigm shift. In other words, we're not just talking about automating a single task in a workflow anymore. We're talking about giving an autonomous agent the keys to manage the entire complex process from start to finish.
And for FP&A, wow, the potential is just enormous. Imagine an AI agent that not only gathers and cleans all the data, but then it generates a dynamic forecast, runs multiple what-if scenarios based on the latest market news, and then it drafts the variance analysis report for you to review. This is the future that agentic AI is promising.
So, how do you get there from where you are today? This brings us to our final section, a practical roadmap that you can use to assess where your organization is right now, and then plan your next moves toward that AI-driven future.
The FP&A Trends AI maturity model gives us a great framework for this. It outlines 5 levels, starting from basic, where everything's manual and reactive, all the way up to leading, where autonomous, adaptive systems like agentic AI are a reality. Honestly, most organizations right now are somewhere between levels 1 and 3, maybe running a few isolated pilots or just starting to integrate AI into specific workflows. This is a journey of transformation. And as Karina Williams, the CFO at Thornton Tomasetti, so powerfully states, it's a journey that finance should be leading, not just watching from the sidelines. The tools are here, the roadmap is here, the opportunity is for finance to step up and drive this change.
So that leaves us with one final thought to take away. Look at that maturity model again and ask yourself honestly, where does my team stand today? And maybe more importantly, what is the single most impactful first step that you can take to move forward on this journey? Because this transformation, it's happening, and the time to start leading it is right now.